The entertainment world just got hit with a bombshell, one that nobody saw coming. Imagine waking up and discovering that the very show that made you a household name has secretly been replaced, and the new cast has already started filming. That's exactly what happened to some of Love and Hip Hop's biggest stars, and fans are absolutely losing it. A leaked promo from a mysterious new reality series has surfaced online, and the reactions are nothing short of explosive. Mendeecees is furious. Kirk Frost is demanding answers. Rasheeda is heartbroken, and Yandy can't believe what she's seeing. And the craziest part, Mona Scott, the mastermind behind Love and Hip Hop, might have been involved in this behind-the-scenes betrayal. Rumors are flying, alliances are breaking, and the entire reality TV landscape could be shifting forever. Fans are shocked, the internet is on fire, and the cast is scrambling to make sense of it all. What is this new show? Who approved it? And why were the Love and Hip Hop veterans kept in the dark? This isn't just a scandal, it's a takeover. Stay with us because the full story behind this leaked promo is more jaw-dropping than anyone imagined. It all started on a quiet Monday morning, the kind of day where nothing big is expected to happen. But that illusion shattered the moment a 30-second promo clip mysteriously appeared on social media. No logo, no captions, just a dramatic teaser of a new reality show filled with fresh faces, wild party scenes, and explosive drama that looked eerily similar to what fans have come to love from Love and Hip Hop. Within minutes, the internet was ablaze. Fans started tagging the original cast, demanding answers. Who are these new people? What happened to Mendeecees, Kirk, Rasheeda, and Yandy? And why does this feel like a straight-up replacement? Mendeecees was the first to speak up. He went lift from his car, visibly angry, gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. His voice trembled with a mix of confusion and rage as he said, "Yo, I don't know what's going on, but that promo? That ain't no coincidence. That's our spot, our vibe, and we ain't even get a call." Fans flooded the comments with messages of support and disbelief, while some speculated that maybe Mona Scott had been planning this all along. The betrayal cut deep. This wasn't just about being left out. It was about being blindsided. Kirk Frost, always the more calculated one, kept quiet at first, but behind the scenes, he was fuming. Rasheeda tried to calm him down, reminding him they needed more information before jumping to conclusions, but Kirk wasn't having it. "We gave years to this brand," he told her in their kitchen, pacing back and forth, "and they gone throw us out like yesterday's news." Rasheeda, clearly upset herself, stared blankly at her phone, replaying the promo over and over. The energy, the vibe, the music, it was unmistakably Love and Hip Hop, just without them. Meanwhile, Yandy was dealing with her own storm. She had been in meetings all week, trying to secure a new product launch tied to her storyline, but now everything felt pointless. "What's the point of building a brand around a show that don't even respect you?" she sent to a close friend over FaceTime, her voice cracked with emotion. "They didn't even give us a chance to say goodbye." Her kids played in the background, unaware of the emotional turmoil their mother was going through. Fans had always seen Yandy as the strong one, the businesswoman who held it all together. But this time, even she seemed shaken to the core. Then came the real twist. Someone leaked the behind-the-scenes clip of the new cast film. He had heard whispers that Mendeecees had been in talks with producers about a spin-off, and now he didn't know who to trust. "If you played a part in this, man, just say it," Kirk snapped. Mendeecees fired back. "Don't come at me like that, Kirk. I've always had your back." The call ended with both men even more upset than before, and Rasheeda just shook her head. "This is exactly what they want," she said. "Divide us so we're easier to replace." Yandy, meanwhile, was on the phone with her manager, demanding answers. But there were none. Everyone in production was unavailable, and emails were going unanswered. She decided to take matters into her own hands. Later that night, she posted a long, emotional video on Instagram. No makeup, no filter, just raw emotion. "We built this," she said, voice steady but eyes full of tears. "We gave our stories, our pain, our families to the world. And now they just erase us? Nah, not like this. The video went viral within hours. Fans flooded the comments with support, using hashtags like #JusticeForTheogs and #BringBackLovianHipHop. Other cast members began sharing the video, signaling a silent but powerful show of unity. And then, out of nowhere, came a cryptic post from Mona Scott's private account. It wasn't a direct statement, just a photo of a chessboard with the caption, "Sometimes the queen sacrifices her pawns." The post was quickly deleted, but not before screenshots spread like wildfire. Fans were divided. Some saw it as confirmation of the betrayal, while others believed it meant something bigger was coming. Regardless, the damage was done. Trust had been shattered, and the cast now knew that this wasn't just a misunderstanding, it was war. As the promo continued to gain traction online, bloggers and gossip pages began speculating about the identities of the new cast. Rumors swirled that they were mostly TikTok influencers and up-and-coming artists with large social media followings. The strategy was clear: bring in a younger, trendier audience and ditch the veterans who had too much baggage. This only deepened the wound. To Mendeecees, Kirk, Yandy, and Rasheeda, this wasn't just a job, it was their legacy. And now that legacy was being erased by people who hadn't paid their dues. Late that night, Kirk received an anonymous tip. Someone from the production crew had reached out to him via burner account, claiming they had proof that the new show had been in development for over a year. They've been filming for months. The message read, "They didn't want y'all to know until it was too late to react." Kirk showed the message to Rasheeda, who read it in silence. Then she whispered, "They used us to keep the ratings up while building something new behind our backs." Her voice broke. "This is more than disrespect, it's betrayal." And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, another video leaked, this time from the new cast rap party. In the background, someone clearly says, "We the new love and hip-hop now." It was the final blow. Every doubt, every theory, every fear had now been confirmed. They hadn't just been replaced, they'd been erased. And that's exactly where everything started to spiral out of control. The morning after the leaked rap party video dropped, the mood shifted from confusion and shock to full-blown fury. Mendeecees was up early, pacing his living room while his phone buzzed nonstop. Fans, friends, and even former cast members were blowing him up. "This is wild," he muttered under his breath, staring at the footage again. "We the new love and hip-hop now." Those words kept echoing in his head like a siren. He dialed Yandy immediately. She picked up on the first ring, her voice hoarse from barely sleeping. "You saw it too, right?" he asked. "Yeah," she replied, "I saw it, and I ain't staying quiet no more." That day, Yandy, Mendeecees, Kirk, and Rasheeda decided to meet in person. No phones, no cameras, just the four of them. They gathered at a small private lounge Kirk had access to downtown. The tension was thick in the air, no one speaking at first. Then Kirk broke the silence. "This ain't no accident. This ain't no new spin-off or some random project. They're trying to wipe us out." Rasheeda nodded slowly, "And doing it like cowards. Not even a damn phone call." Yandy leaned forward, her voice sharp. "You know what hurts the most? We gave everything to this show. Our relationships, our businesses, our families. And they act like we never existed." Mendeecees added, "They wanted the drama, the ratings, the mess. We gave it all to them, and now we're just leftovers." He slammed his hand on the table. "Nah, man, we not going out like this." The group decided it was time to go public, not just with their feelings, but with the truth. The silence from production and Mona Scott was a slap in the face, and they weren't going to sit back while an entirely new cast took over their legacy. Meanwhile, blogs had already started picking sides. One headline read, "New faces, same drama. Is love and hip-hop evolving or erasing?" Another posted side-by-side clips comparing scenes from the original show to moments from the new promo. Fans were noticing the similarities. The catchphrases, the camera angles, even the fight sit-ups. It felt like someone had taken everything the OGs had built, stripped their names off it, and handed it to a new generation with no acknowledgement. Then came the biggest twist yet. An anonymous insider decided to spill it all. They sent a detailed email to several gossip pages, claiming to be a former production assistant who had just quit. The message was explosive. The new show has been in the works for 14 months. It began. The producers were under strict orders not to let the OG cast find out. It was called Operation Reboot internally. They wanted to relaunch the franchise with cheaper, younger talent and phase out the veterans by giving them less screen time last season. The promo leak wasn't an accident. It was a calculated move to test audience reaction. When the blobs posted the email, the internet caught fire again. Fans who had been holding out hope that this was all a misunderstanding were now livid. Comments flooded in. They really tried to do the OGs dirty. This is betrayal at the highest level. Hashtags like hashtag #OGSoverEverything and hashtag #BoycottFakeHipHop started trending. The OG cast fan base was now fully activated, and they were not letting this slide. Back in that lounge, Kirk was reading the blog post out loud to the group, shaking his head in disbelief. Operation Reboot? Like we some outdated phones or something. Mendeecees scoffed. Nah bro, they got the wrong ones. We ain't done. Yandy was already texting her publicist. We're doing a press run, she said. Interviews, podcasts, everything. If they want to silence us, we'll get louder. Rasheeda was hesitant. What if it backfires? What if they spin it and say we're bitter or washed up? But Yandy looked her dead in the eyes. They already replacing us like we did. What else can they take? Her words hummed heavy in the room. They knew she was right. The next day, the four of them appeared together on a popular morning radio show. The hosts wasted no time diving into the controversy. Kirk spoke first, calm but firm. We didn't get a warning, a call, nothing. Just woke up one day and saw a new version of our show with new people pretending like they built it. Rasheeda added, we not mad they want to evolve, but why erase us? Why act like we ain't spent a decade giving y'all everything? The interview got emotional when Yandy talked about how her kids grew up on set, how her family's highs and lows had become public entertainment, and now it felt like none of it mattered. Mendeecees, usually more reserved, ended the interview with a strong message. You can't replace real. You can copy the format, steal the lighting, even mimic the fights, but you can't duplicate the soul. And we were the soul of that show. As the clip from the interview went viral, other former cast members began speaking out too. Some supported the current OGs, sharing their own stories of being pushed aside, underpaid, or ignored. Others stayed quiet, possibly fearing backlash or hoping to stay in the good graces of production. But the divide was clear. The battle lines had been drawn. While the OGs were rallying support, the new cast was facing backlash they hadn't expected. Their comment sections were flooded with negative messages. You're not real love in hip-hop, one person wrote. Another said, you walking in shoes that don't belong to you. A few of the new cast members tried to clap back, but it only made things worse. One posted, don't hate us just cause y'all old news, and that ignited a full-blown social media war. Kirk reposted the comment with the caption, imagine thinking clout makes you legendary. Fans applauded the clapback, and the tension between the old and new cast reached a boiling point. Bloggers started speculating whether producers would now be forced to backtrack due to the backlash. Some even suggested that Mona might try to mend fences with the OGs just to save face. But Mona was still silent. No statement, no denial, no confirmation, just more cryptic posts on her private story, including one that simply said, let them talk. The game ain't changed, it's just moved on. It felt like a final blow. To the OGs, it wasn't just silence, it was disrespect. As the days went by, more insiders came forward. One revealed that Mona had pitched the new show as a clean slate to networks, promising fresh blood without the old drama. Another claimed that the OGs were purposely left out of initial casting talks to avoid potential legal conflicts. It was all starting to feel like a setup from the beginning. The OGs regrouped once more, this time in a private studio with cameras rolling. They were planning to film a tell-all documentary, not for drama, but to reclaim their truth. If they don't want to give us a platform, Mendeecees said, "We'll build our own." The others nodded in agreement. Kirk added, "We already got the fans. They ain't watching for the new faces. They watching for us." The energy in the room shifted. What started as heartbreak was now becoming purpose. They weren't just going to fight back. They were going to remind the world who started it all. And just as filming for their documentary began, something unexpected happened that none of them saw coming. The day filming began for their tell-all documentary, the energy on set was electric. The camera crew, all handpicked and loyal to the OGs, set up in a cozy studio with dim lights and warm tones, giving it a raw and intimate feel. Mendeecees sat in front of the lens first. "This ain't no revenge piece," he said calmly. "This is our truth. They tried to write us out the script, so we writing our own." As he spoke, the production team captured every sigh, every pause, every flicker of emotion in his eyes. Meanwhile, something unexpected began bubbling online. A strange link started circulating on social media, an unlisted video from a private streaming account. When people clicked, they found behind-the-scenes footage from the new show. In it, producers could be heard coaching cast members on how to recreate iconic love and hip-hop moments. You walk in, throw the drink, and then say the line like Rasheeda did in season 3. One producer instructed. Another whispered, "Make sure the camera catches your left side." That's how Yandy used to do it. The video spread like wildfire, and fans were stunned. It was no longer speculation. It was imitation, frame by frame. Yandy was the first to react publicly. She posted a screen recording of the leaked footage with a simple caption, "Wow, just wow." The post racked up hundreds of thousands of views in minutes. Kirk followed up with a cryptic message, "Can't copy soul. Keep playing dress up though." Rasheeda reposted fan reactions, calling the new cast discount versions and cosplay characters. The fans were now fully on their side, and the backlash against the new show exploded. But behind the scenes, Mona Scott was finally feeling the heat. Network executives were reportedly panicking. Ratings projections for the reboot had plummeted ever since the leak. Sponsors were backing out, unsure if the new direction would still appeal to the loyal audience. And then came the rumors. Some whispered that the network had ordered Mona to fix it or risk the entire franchise collapsing. Others said she was planning a dramatic twist of her own to regain control of the narrative. While all this chaos played out, the OGs continued filming their documentary, digging deeper into the pain they had been holding back for years. Yandy broke down during her interview. "We built this brand with our blood, sweat, and tears. I let people into my life, my marriage, my kids, and they just tossed us aside like trash." That hurts deeper than anything. Mendeecees held her hand off camera, his face hardening. "They forgot we still got power. They forgot the fans still love us." In another scene, Kirk and Rasheeda sat side by side, reflecting on how far they'd come. "We were just two young parents trying to survive, trying to make love and business work," Rasheeda said softly. "The show made us fight harder for each other, not just for tea, but for real life." Kirk nodded. "And now they want to erase all that history like we never existed. That ain't happening. Not on our watch." As the footage came together, they decided to release a teaser trailer for the documentary. It featured raw clips, dramatic slow-motion shots, and voiceovers that hinted at betrayal, heartbreak, and resilience. The teaser ended with Mendeecees looking directly into the camera, saying, "You think you know the story? Think again." Fans went crazy. The video trended instantly, and even media outlets that had once ignored the OGs were now reaching out for interviews. But just when it seemed the OGs had all the momentum, Mona made her move. She released a surprise trailer for the new show, revealing a plot twist no one saw coming. She had secretly brought back a few minor OG cast members in supporting roles. Names like Ariane, Carly Red, and even Mama D flashed across the screen. The voiceover declared, "A new era begins." With some familiar faces, the internet exploded again. Fans were divided. Some felt Mona was trying to do damage control. Too little too late, one tweet read. Others were curious to see how the old and new would mix. The Oggs, however, saw it differently. Yandy rolled her eyes during a live stream. She thinks sprinkling in a few side characters gonna calm us down. Girl, bye. Kirk went live on his own account. No disrespect to those folks, but let's be real. That ain't the heart of the show. We are. Mendeecees called it a desperate stunt, and Rasheeda said it outright. Mona is trying to blur the lines, hoping fans forget who the real foundation is. But the truth was, the battle was now out in the open. It wasn't just about feelings anymore. It was about legacy, business, and control. Soon after, the Oggs received an unexpected invitation, a private sit-down with the network. The email didn't come from Mona, but from a senior executive who had been quietly monitoring the public's response. The subject line read, "Urgent discussion regarding future of franchise." After a brief debate, the group agreed to attend, but with one condition: they would record the meeting just in case. The day of the meeting, tension was high. The network boardroom was sleek, cold, and filled with polished suits who offered fake smiles and firm handshakes. Yandy was the first to speak. "We know why we're here. Yo didn't call us for no reunion special. You called us because your reboot is crashing and burning." One executive tried to keep things calm. "We want to find a middle ground," he said. "There's still value in what you all bring." Mendeecees scoffed. "Value? You mean ratings? Don't dress it up." Rasheeda leaned in, her voice sharp. "You let Mona try to bury us. Now you want us to help you clean up the mess?" Kirk, ever the businessman, added, "You want us back? We're not coming cheap, and we're not coming as side pieces either. It's lead or nothing." The room went silent. The executives exchanged glances, scribbled notes, and whispered back and forth. Finally, one spoke. "We're prepared to greenlight a special, uncensored, unfiltered, full creative control to you four. It'll air before the new show launches." Yandy raised an eyebrow. "So we get to speak our truth on your platform?" The exec nodded. "Yes, and if the ratings perform, we'll renegotiate for a full season." The Oggs took a moment to process. It wasn't everything, but it was a start. And more importantly, it was leverage. Outside the building, reporters were waiting. Fans had already caught wind of the meeting. The Oggs didn't say much, just enough to stir the pot. Mendeecees simply told the cameras, "Big moves coming. Stay tuned." The fans lit up again. The narrative was shifting, and this time the Oggs were driving it. As the new show scrambled to finish editing, the network quietly pushed its premiere back 2 weeks to make room for the Oggs special. Mona remained silent, but insiders claimed she was furious, blindsided by the executive's decision to bypass her. Some even speculated she might walk away from the franchise altogether. Others said she was planning her own comeback. But for now, the Oggs were back in control of the spotlight. Their documentary was trending. The networks were bending. And the fans? They were louder than ever, chanting online and in person, "Bring back the real." The battle wasn't over, but the tide had turned. And just as filming for the network special began, a bombshell message arrived that threatened to undo everything they had worked for. The message arrived through a private DM to Kirk's verified account. No sender name, just a faceless profile with a blank avatar. The text read, "Before you air that special, ask Yandy about the deal she made with Mona behind your backs. She's not telling you everything." Kirk's brows furrowed. At first, he thought it was a troll, but something about the timing, right before filming the special, and the confidence in the message made him pause. He showed it to Rasheeda, who instantly felt a knot form in her stomach. "This could be fake," she said, "but what if it's not?" Without saying anything to the others, Kirk decided to keep an eye on Yandy during their next meeting. The group had gathered at a small production house to review the special script, ensuring they all approved the final edits. Everyone was laughing, eating takeout, and vibing like the old days. But Kirk noticed Yandy constantly checking her phone, occasionally stepping outside to take calls. Mendeecees seemed chill, like he knew nothing, and that only made Kirk more uneasy. When Yandy returned inside, Kirk casually asked, "Everything good? You've been on the phone a lot lately." Yandy smiled tightly. "Just my manager stressing about this media tour we're about to do. Folks blowing up my phone." Her tone was breezy, but Kirk caught the flicker in her eyes. Rasheeda was watching too now, silently clocking her every move. The next day, Kirk made a bold move. He reached out to a contact in the network's legal department, a friend who owed him a favor. Off the record, Kirk said, "Has Yandy had any one-on-one meetings with Mona or the execs? Anything not in the group's knowledge?" The response made his blood run cold. "Actually, yeah. She met with Mona twice, 2 weeks ago, supposedly about a personal docu-series, nothing to do with the group project." Kirk didn't respond right away. He just stared at the message, realizing everything might be slipping out of their control again. He called an emergency meeting that night. Everyone showed up: Mendeecees, Yandy, Rasheeda. Kirk played it cool at first. "So before we finish the edits, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, all transparent." Rasheeda jumped in. "Yeah, no hidden deals or side conversations, right?" Yandy stiffened. "What are y'all talking about?" Kirk looked her dead in the eye. "Did you or did you not meet with Mona behind our backs?" The room went dead silent. Mendeecees turned to Yandy, confusion written all over his face. Yandy sighed, rubbing her temples. "Okay, yes, I did. But it wasn't shady. She reached out about something totally separate. Something for me, about my life outside of the show." Mendeecees' voice was low, controlled. "And you weren't gonna tell me?" "Tell us?" Yandy stood up defensive. "Because I knew how y'all would take it, like I was selling us out." "Well, I'm not. I turned it down anyway." Kirk wasn't buying it. "You turned it down after or before this special started getting attention." Yandy's silence was the only answer needed. Tension exploded into shouting. Rasheeda called it a betrayal. Mendeecees accused Yandy of lying by omission. Yandy fired back, accusing them of acting like they owned her decisions. "I've been writing for this brand just like y'all. Don't act like I'm the villain now." The room dissolved into chaos, and the editors quietly slipped out, unsure if this was part of the script or real life. Finally, Kirk slammed his hand on the table. "We're either in this together or we're done. Pick a side, Yandy." Yandy looked at Mendeecees, tears forming in her eyes. "I didn't want to lose y'all. I was just trying to figure out my next move. I didn't know what the network was gonna do. I panicked." The room softened for a moment. Mendeecees took a deep breath. "We get it. But secrets ain't how we win this." After a heavy pause, Yandy nodded. "I'll pull out of Mona's project officially. No backup plan. I'm riding with y'all." They decided to include a scene about the confrontation in the special, making it even more real. "If we're airing the truth, we air all of it," Kirk said. The final cut now featured their raw fight, the emotional fallout, and their decision to stay united. Fans would see the cracks, the repair, and the strength behind their reunion. And when the teaser dropped with that clip, it sent shockwaves through the fandom. Meanwhile, Mona wasn't staying quiet anymore. She finally posted a long statement on her Instagram. "Change is never easy. Evolution comes with conflict. But I stand by my vision. The love and hip-hop universe is expanding, not erasing. I wish the original cast well in their endeavors, and I hope fans give the new generation a fair chance." The comments were brutal. Fans called her out, accusing her of being manipulative, dishonest, and out of touch. Hashtags like #TeamOgs and #BringBackReal started trending again. Just days before the OGS special was set to air, another curveball hit. A leaked email from a network executive surfaced, revealing that if the special pulled in higher ratings than the new premiere, a full reboot with the original cast would be considered. The stakes had never been higher. The OBS went into promo overdrive, appearing on podcasts, Instagram lives, and morning shows. Rasheeda gave a powerful interview where she said, "This ain't just tea for us. This is our story, and now it's our turn to tell it." The premiere night arrived. Fans everywhere were locked in. Social media was on fire. Hashtags trended globally. Watch parties popped up in cities across the country. Even former cast members like Rich Dallas and Erica Mena tweeted their support. The OG's back. I'm watching with popcorn, Rich wrote. As the special aired, emotions ran high. Fans cried, laughed, and raged with the cast. They saw the betrayal, the unity, the heart behind every scene. Ratings poured in, record-breaking numbers for the network. Higher than any Love and Hip Hop episode in 3 years. Mona's new show was now set to air the following week, but buzz had drastically declined. Fans were already calling it the imitation and bootleg Love and Hip Hop. Early reviews from insiders who previewed the episodes were underwhelming. It feels forced, one critic wrote, like they're chasing a formula that doesn't exist without the original energy. Behind the scenes, Mona was reportedly livid. Sources claim she held a fiery meeting with the new cast, blaming them for not bringing enough authenticity. One cast member allegedly stormed off set in tears, saying, "We're not them, and we never will be." Others started distancing themselves, afraid of being labeled as replacements. The network was now scrambling to make a decision. Executives convened in emergency meetings to discuss the future of the franchise. Rumors started swirling that they were considering pausing the reboot and offering the OGs a multi-season deal. Nothing was confirmed publicly, but the whispers were getting louder. Meanwhile, the OGs were celebrating their win but staying cautious. "We did what we came to do," Kirk told a reporter, "but we're not done yet. Not until we get what's ours." Yandy, still recovering from the fallout, posted a heartfelt message to her fans. "I made mistakes, but I never stopped loving this family. Thank you for riding with us through the storm." The fans felt vindicated. Their voices had made a difference. They had backed the OGs, rejected the manufactured drama, and reminded everyone that authenticity still mattered. But just as the dust began to settle, and the OGs prepared to negotiate the next chapter, Mona was seen entering a private suite with the rival streaming giant, Netflix. Someone caught a blurry photo and posted it with the caption, "Mona plotting again?" The war wasn't over. It had just moved to a bigger battlefield. So now that the truth is finally out, and the OGs have taken their power back, one question still remains. What happens next? Will the network officially cancel Mona's reboot and give the original cast the comeback they truly deserve? Or will Mona play her final card with that secret Netflix meeting and flip the entire industry once again? We've seen betrayal, loyalty, redemption, and war, all in one explosive chapter. And if there's anything this saga has taught us, it's that in the world of love and hip-hop, nothing stays quiet for long. The streets are talking, the fans are choosing sides, and the future of reality TV is hanging in the balance. But this isn't just about the cast. This is about the fans who stood by their favorites when the industry tried to erase them. This is about the culture, the legacy, and the voices that refuse to be silenced. If you've been riding with Kirk, Rasheeda, Yandy, and Mendeecees through every twist and turn, now's the time to make your voice heard. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the OGs deserve their own reboot? Did Yandy go too far with Mona? And what do you really think Mona's planning next with Netflix? Hit that like button if you're all in for Team OGs, and make sure to subscribe for every messy update, behind-the-scenes drama, and shocking twists we uncover next. Because if you thought this war was over, think again. This is just the beginning of the real takeover. Stay tuned, stay loud, and most importantly, stay watching, because reality just got realer than ever.